Hey, Go Format players, it's Skill Brown Magician here, and I have the Golem Fortress dupe replays. So let's go ahead and get into it. It was really fun dueling with this deck, and I actually got some pretty decisive wins with this. It did take a little bit of walling out, but we were able to get the W. So I'm going to try to go through this relatively quickly. Let's see. Okay, so this guy's playing a really interesting deck. He's playing some sort of banish deck because he has DD Assailant, which is like DD Warrior Lady, and he's also playing Soul Absorption. So if a card or cards is banished, gain 500 life points for each. So he's up to something. So I have kind of a funky looking hand, but something I am happy about is that I have um, a lot of the combo pieces, and I do have two of the Iron Blacksmith Kotetsus, so I can set him pretty, uh, without worrying about knock, because I have both of them in hand. So he doesn't have knock, and he just swings into it, and I'm able to pluck a United We Stand from deck, which is nice. And then now, I know I'm in a good position because I have both of my monsters that I can combine with a Ring of Magnetism or Megamorph. And for this version of the deck, I wasn't running Megamorph yet. So when my second Kotetsu gets hit, I just fetch the Magnetism from deck. And then here, all I'm waiting on is the Machine Dupe. And it's usually not often that you can get, so many of your key components so quickly. So I get Graceful, but no Machine Dupe yet. And I just proceed to set Gravekeeper Spy first before I set my Magician of Faith. And he still has nothing. He's just kind of accumulating cards in hand. And I'm still walling him out. And this is good because I have United Restand in hand. So that means as many bodies as I can get on field is always a good thing. And to make things even more interesting, I have Call of the Haunted now for that extra special summon. So he gets DD Warrior Lady, attacks into my Magician of Faith, and he has nothing. So just continue drawing like crazy here. I get rid of two traps because I have Jinzo, and I really wanted to bring Jinzo out because I was going to go for a big play. Soon I can see my resources are building. And here it's interesting because Roulette Barrel really just puts your opponents on the clock because of its destruction effect. More often than not, they're going to swing into it, flip it, and very rare that they're going to be able to kill it because it has 2,000 defense. They're going to flip it, they're going to pass their turn, and then they have to run the risk of you blowing up their monster. So it really puts him on a clock to remove it. So he actually uses a DD War Lady to take out Roulette Barrel, which is pretty good trade in my opinion. And here I'm a little bummed because I actually draw into my second copy of Gear Golem, which means now it won't be as awesome if I go into a Machine Dupe play because I'll only be able to bring one copy from deck, which is not nearly as good. But I'm still able to just keep tacking on my monsters because he has no way of getting around them. Just defense is way too high. And at this point, I just say, you know what? Why not just try to get as many bodies on field while I wait for a back row removal? So I say, you know what? Let's go into the play. I have enough cards, and I have a card destruction to draw into more cards, but he kills my normal summon with Solemn Judgment. And I make a mistake here, and I set a card when I already normaled. So that was my mistake. He activates another Soul Absorption. He has nothing. So I finally have the play. I have Machine Dupe, and I decide I'm going to try to Machine Dupe Roulette Barrel instead. But he finally gets some cards that he needs, he is able to banish 2 to special summon out his first Chaos Sorcerer, and because he has 2 copies of Soul Absorption, he's able to gain 2,000 life points. Pretty crazy. And he banishes my second copy of Gear Golem. And here, I draw into BLS, so I'm really starting to get things moving. But I flip my roulette barrel. I decide to roll first. Let's see what I can get. Maybe I can clear the Chaos Sorcerer. And no luck, but that's alright. Banish, banish. Bring out BLS. But here, so I go card destruction, and now I have the card that I wanted to see. And in this version of the deck, I was running Giant Shrunade, which is definitely an option you can play instead of MST and Heavy Storm. So I was able to card destruction here, draw into the cards that I needed, and by this point, it's pretty much game over because I know I'm going to get rid of his back row. And I have all my power cards. And I realized earlier when I banished off my 2 to special summon out BLS, he actually didn't gain the 2,000. So he should be at 9,000 right now, 9,450. But even despite that, you'll see right here, this is still just going to be too much. So I go roulette barrel one more time. Let's see if I can clear anything. No luck, but that's all right. I'm going to flip all of their attacks and defenses. So now we have a 2,200, 2K, 2K, 2,500 that can attack twice. And then check this out. Pay 800. He's 2,200 attack. He can attack directly. And then hit him with United Restand. We have 4 monsters out. Give him another 3,200 attack. He's at 50. What is that? 5,400 attack. He can attack directly. So that's already like half the life points. And then it doesn't even matter because even though he had 9,450, I had limiter removal. So double that. He's at 10,800. And I could just attack with just Gear Golem, the Moving Fortress, for game. So just really crazy numbers that you can stack up in this. Kind of a lengthy duel. Definitely took a lot of grinding out, but this deck is good at that. So that was not bad for us. All right, let's check out the next duel. This one's faster, if I remember correctly. So he gets to go first, and he also has Pot of Greed. So my turn, I open up with Pot. That's always good to see. And I have Sangan, so why not poke? And he Saku's it, which I think is hilarious. So I get Magician of Faith because I have so many monsters that I could set first before Faith to bait out the knock. So that way I can get my Pot of Greed later. So like I said, this is to bait out the knock. I set Roulette Barrel first. No response. I draw into another Roulette Barrel, not the best, but that's okay. So now I set my Magician of Faith, and I know he hasn't done anything yet. So here's where it's interesting because now I have Shield and Sword, so my guys are going to swing pretty hard. But you know what? I need just a little bit more. Let's see what I can get. When I flip summon Magician of Faith, he goes into Torrential, but I have Decree. So now I have Chaos Sorcerer. I'm going to have a Light and Dark in Graveyard because I just discarded one. And he has nothing yet. He just sets. So here, I pretty much just say, you know what? Let's clear back row. Like I said, Giant Shrunade is definitely a viable replacement for MST and Heavy. But here's where I really like Gravekeeper Spy because it says you just special summon out a Gravekeeper in attack or defense. So you bring it out in attack, and then check this out. flip summon Roulette Barrel. And this is where I kind of get a little ahead of myself. I don't special summon Chaos Sorcerer yet. The reason why is I do Shield and Sword first. This is optimal because now I have 2k, 2k, 400, 2k. And then now I bring out Chaos Sorcerer. It's not affected, and he has the max of 2300. So here I have game, we have knock, and he has nothing. So was able to clear it. I was running Chaos Sorcerer in this version of the deck. I like that I had a pretty fairly large light and dark package, so I was running BLS and the Chaos Sorcerer. You could try that too. It worked out for me. Sometimes it was a little bricky because if they banish off your Gravekeeper Spy with knock, you could really be hurting for darks. But I definitely think that having two, it could work. Just a different way of playing the deck. Okay, so I was able to clear him. I had 23, 2k, 2k, 2k. That's already 83, and then the extra 400 for Magician of Faith. All right, this last one is actually a match. I'm going to try to go through it. Try not to take too much time. I think there was a lot of back and forth, though, because we do go to a game 3. And that was way too fast. Let's see what I discarded. So I got rid of Gear Golem, Kotetsu, because I have 2 Kotetsus. And like I mentioned in the profile, if you have Roulette Barrel and Gear Golem, it's actually not bad sending one of them to grave, because if you get either of your revival spells later, or a revival spell or your revival trap, you can just bring out Gear Golem and then go into your Machine Dupe play if you have the necessary pieces in hand. So here he just attacks into Roulette Barrel, and that defense is too nice. He can't do anything about it, so I get to roll my die, and let's see if I'm able to pop his Gravekeeper. No luck, but that's okay. I set my Kotetsu now, and I'm looking for that Ring of Magnetism or Megamorph. And then he hits me with Tribe. So he's really desperate to get Roulette Barrel out of there, and he wants to start doing some damage. So I get Prima. So I have the monster back, but it's unfortunate because since I had to get Prima in order to bring back one of these monsters, it didn't allow me to get Ring of Magnetism or Megamorph. I actually make a mistake here, though, because I do have Roulette Barrel in hand. So I could have gotten Ring of Magnetism or Megamorph, but that's okay. This was still in the early stages where I was testing an earlier version of this deck. I don't think I even had Megamorph just yet. So he attacks in with Tribe, and I want to get 2 of his monsters, but he flips Tribe face down. He probably figures that I have some high defense monsters, and he wants to keep Tribe out. So here, super upsetting, I draw into the second copy of Gear Golem, the Moving Fortress, which prohibits me now from fully utilizing Machine Dupe, because now I can only pull 1 copy from deck, so that was a bummer. He tries to go to Trap Dushu, but I have Decree, so he doesn't get to snipe one of my monsters and see my hand, which was nice. He has Faith, he gets Book of Moon, and he tributes Faith off for Jinzo, banishes for Chaos Sorcerer. So he goes on a tear here, and he finally has attack to swing over my defense monsters, and he flips his Tribe. So I'm a little bummed here, but top deck into BLS, how fortunate for me. And I bring out Roulette Barrel just to kind of see if I could clear any of his monsters first. But here, I kind of let it slide. He activates Book of Moon from hand, but I just kind of let him activate it. I guess he forgot to set it. So he activates it, but Roulette Barrel still has priority, so I'm still able to do the effect, and I'm able to pop Tribe. And then he flips me face down, but And then Prima gets destroyed. And then I tribute off the roulette barrel and I crash into Jinzo. And that's to get my that's to get another dark engrave. And this is actually really nice because since both Jinzos are gone now, Royal Decree is now active and it's protecting me if he has a trap. I crash that Jinzo, I banish, and now I bring out my BLS and I'm able to clear his Chaos Sorcerer. And I set a bluff. So I attack for 3k, and he flips me, and I'm hoping he doesn't draw knock. Nothing. And now I'm drawing all the machine duplications. What a bummer. But I am able to chip him for 3k here. And here he does it backwards, but I just let it slide. He has MST, so he pops my Royal Decree, and then he Raigeki breaks my BLS. And he had to sacrifice his breaker for that. He had to discard that for a Raigeki break. And I'm so happy here because BLS is in grave and he was properly summoned, and I had Call of the Haunted. So he goes in here to attack and special summon BLS. So really clutch here. I love Call of the Haunted, the fact that you can do it in their battle phase. Really clutch, and he knows that's pretty much game. So he ends it, and we go into the tiebreaker. So he sets 2, summons Sangan, and I have an okay hand. I'm really hoping he doesn't have knock because I just kind of set Gravekeeper Spy here, and he swings into it. So no knock, and I'm sitting pretty here. I'm able to stall. And then to make things even more interesting, I get Roulette Barrel, but I'm going to hold on to him for now. And he knows there's nothing he can do. So I get rid of his Magician of Faith, and guess I thin the deck by 2, which is, I guess that's cool. And I set 2, and I'm hoping he doesn't have anything to kill my back row. And at this point, I set Kotetsu because I'm really just trying for a couple more cards just to really be sure. And fortunately, he doesn't hit Decree. He goes for the bluff. That's why I set Limiter. And I get Ring back. And I still don't have Machine Dupe, though. So waiting on Machine Dupe. And he goes into Ring because he really doesn't want to deal with Roulette Barrel, because if he lets Roulette Barrel slide, it has a potential of popping his Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, which is one of his outs to my high defense monsters, right? But I have Decree and I'm able to block it. So Roulette Barrel lives for a turn and I get to roll my die. And I hit the 4, and here he kind of just lets it go through because he said that he made a mistake because he wanted to chain and he wanted to flip Book of Moon earlier, but he did it too late. So he says, you know what, go ahead, you can just pop the monster, but just flip him face down. So I just flipped Roulette face down for his Book of Moon. But basically, he wanted to do it in standby phase so that I couldn't. I don't know if it was that I couldn't activate the effect. I don't really know what he was doing, but he just lets it go through. He attacks into the Sangan, and I go into Gear Golem here because I could go for my Ring of Magnetism if I get Machine Dupe. And do I get it? Yes, I do. I finally draw into it. I flip Roulette Barrel, and I really want to get rid of his Mystic Tomato. But no luck, but I will take his Sanguine, so why not? He gets a search, and he gets DD Warrior Lady. That's always good to get with Sanguine. And I go Ring of Magnetism, and I go into my Machine Dupe play. We're bringing out 2 more copies of Roulette Barrel. I don't have Sword and Shield, so I put them in defense, and I'm just chaining their effects. Let's go. Let's roll some die. Let's blow up some monsters. And here I hit the 4, so I'm able to take out Mystic Tomato, and I have my second copy of Roulette Barrel, so I'm getting my last 2 rolls. No luck, but 2 out of the 3 Roulette Barrels were able to clear monsters, so not bad. And I just sit on that, and I leave Roulette Barrel in attack with 500 attack. And if he swings into it, that's okay. I have so much life points, it doesn't really matter. And now I know next turn we're going in because we have Giant Trunade and we just have so much stuff. But here he makes his last offensive. It's kind of like his last hurrah. I respect it. He clears my Roulette Barrel, and then he takes out another Roulette Barrel with DD Warrior Lady. And he has all these monsters. I don't know why he leaves his Gravekeeper Spies in attack, but sure, why not? Oh, I think it's because he knows already that Sword and Shield, so he's leaving them in attack. That's interesting. That's why he did that. That's dope. So I get rid of everything, and oh man, here we go. Banish, banish, special summon BLS. He activates Book of Moon. That just doesn't work because I use Giant Trunade first, right? So that for sure doesn't work. I don't let it slide this time. And I normal summon my Gear Golem, the Moving Fortress, and it's funny because I go United Restand, and man, I just have so much attack on deck, and with the limiter removal, technically, I could have went United Restand onto the Gear Golem and had him at 54, double it to 10,800, and go for that game shot. So there's just so many ways that you can go about it. Man, this was a crazy duel, crazy match going back and forth, and really fun. Hopefully, it showcased what the deck can kind of do. You do have to have some luck, right? You do need to have Machine Dupe. You have to have the spells. In these replays, I actually was only running Ring of Magnetism, so you can expect to see more of the combos if you have Megamorph in the deck, like I showed in the profile. So hopefully I can post some more showcase duels with this deck, and I hope you guys enjoy.